What's up, guys? Chasing Lane here on episode number 33 of Red vs. Blue. And of course, it's a post-promotion transfer special. So without any further ado, let's get into it and see how FC United are going to line up with the National League and the National League North contenders, Maine Road, also look. So let's subscribe, ring the bell, see you after this intro.
Streets are full of dreams and lies. Every corner has a story. With a pint and cloudy skies, we chase our fleeting glory. Manchester Knights are calling. In the madness we are falling. Round and round the wheels turning. Bright city always burning.
So 18 new signings for FC United, and it started off with Harrison Bond, a goalkeeper who was already unhappy because we signed someone else who might take his place in the team, but that's low. He's had a career in the Northeast mostly. He started off at Sunderland, he's then played for Shildon, got on a free to Gateshead, where he's had a few good seasons, and yeah, comes into us as dropping down from being that first choice in League 2. So we know he's pretty good, and he signed at the end or at the beginning of June. So he was the first man in the door. He's a decent enough goalkeeper, and hopefully we'll get some game time and look good between the sticks. He was joined by another goalkeeper, because of course we lost all our goalkeepers at the end of last season. Ruben Smiley or Smiley. He comes to us originally from Blackpool, I think. Started his career at Blackpool, went to Aberdeen, where he's been for the last few years, playing in the Scottish Premier League and the Championship. And then, yeah, has signed for us on a free. Had a couple of loans out as well, which is interesting, considering he was playing in the Scottish Premiership at Dulwich Hamlet and at Bath City. You can see he's slowly been increasing his levels. And 22, he again is a very good contender for our number one shirt. Kian Brecken is a central midfielder who joins us from Manchester City. He is a central midfielder, 24 years old, already looks decent enough for this level. Says he's leading for the level below. A lot of our players do say that, but he's had a time. He's not played in the league for Manchester City, but he had a loan in League 1 at Wycombe, where he played very well. And then he's had a couple of loans in the Belgian league with Lommel, where he's also played for an 8.44 in his last season in Belgium. Is a little bit disgusting, if we're completely honest. That's quite a season, and if he can replicate that in the National League, these star ratings are going to be largely meaningless. James Connolly is a Welsh centre-half / right-back, 521 caps, and very good value, 750k to 1.1 million for a player that we have not paid any money for at all. He joins us from Salford, where he was released from League 2 at the end of last season, having played in almost every league game, previously of Bristol Rovers, Cardiff and Blackburn. But yeah, he's a solid little player and should bring a lot of benefit to our back line. I don't think his technicals are quite there, but I think he's probably going through a bit of a slump in terms of development. I don't know why, but hopefully we'll fix that. Charles Vernon comes in as an attacking midfield option all the way across there. 31, probably the oldest player I've signed in this one. Might actually be the oldest player I've signed in this window. But again, he's a very good all-round player for this level and has bags of experience, having played in Grimsby's team in League 1 last season. Has been fairly consistently in the Grimsby team for the last few years. Previously of Lincoln, that's a brave transfer. And then Bradford, Burton, and actually came through, I think, started out at Grimsby, started out at Skirkle, then Derby, then had some loans at Grimsby and eventually signed. So he's had a back and forth kind of career there, but there we go. He looks like a decent player that I think will be a really special signing for us, should produce a lot of goals for us, I would say. Matty Daly is a 27-year-old attacking midfielder and looks pretty solid for us, I'll be honest. Again, he's good for this. Well, I said he's leading National League North South, good for National League potential, but I think he'll step up quite nicely. Again, has a lot of experience at this level with Harrogate and previously played in League 2 for them as well. Has been a fairly consistent performer over a few, 230 odd games. And then has played for Huddersfield before that, and Hartlepool and Bradford. And yeah, he's had a good time. He's played in the Premier League. He's a pretty solid pickup. Bonte D. Campbell comes in, another 27-year-old, to give us an option at right back. And again, it's a pretty fairly well-rounded stats for his attributes to this level. But again, another player signed from Salford, another member of Salford's squad last season. He wasn't relegated. In fact, he was playing in a promotion team in League Two. So we've got two players from Salford's promotion-winning side. That bodes pretty well for this season, I would say, especially leading National League North and South again. But he's been playing and starting most of those games. Previously of Arsenal, Leicester, Dundee and Cardiff, but I feel fairly confident in Bonte Daly-Campbell to come in and be a real boost for this team. 23-year-old Kai Payne comes in as well, central midfielder who can play further back as well if we need him to, which is going to be very beneficial for us this season, I would say. He came through at Wigan and has played a fair few games for them in League One, as well as playing alone at Tranmere. And again, looks fairly solid with some potential to grow. I should come in and vastly improve this midfield, which we really like to see. And I think he's probably still developing, which is even better. Ronan Mayer comes in, a 23-year-old Irishman, and I'll mostly be using him probably as a playmaker rather than the striker thinks he should be. But the fact that he's got that versatility will help. His physicals aren't quite there, but his mental's not very good for this level and will work on what he needs to learn because in central midfield, he's pretty useless. But as an attacking midfielder, he's okay. He's decent. He joins us on a free from Walsall, where he was playing in League Two for the last 3 years. I had a couple of seasons in the National League North at Rushall, so we might have come... No, we didn't come across him. I think we were still in the National Premier, the Northern Premier then. But yeah, has had a lot of games in League Two for Walsall. And yeah, should be a good signing as well. Sean McWilliams completes our early June transfer business at 29 years old. We signed him on the Swindon rebuild and he was very good for us. I don't think he's developed quite as well in this universe. Doesn't really have much pace, but he's a very good ball winner to have in midfield and can play further back, which is very, very helpful as well. His career has taken him essentially nowhere because he's been at Northampton for years. He's played 298 league games for Northampton and had a season on loan at Kingsland as well. But 298 league games, all in League One and League Two, very good ratings there. He has a relegation on his CV, we can see here, but you know what? That's still not that bad. He's also got a couple of promotions on his CV, so I guess he's done okay for his career so far. And again, another good signing for us to add depth to that squad. 10 down to go, starting with Ryan Tiofo, who joins us on a free from Burnley, aged 22, a decent National League player according to the star rating, who could be a leading National League player. What will be playing him as a pressing forward, but you can see there his physicals step up for that. Finishing of 15, composure of 12, just screams lots and lots of goals. Previously with Burnley, had a loan at Dundee as well, has never played a league game though, which is interesting, but you know, everyone has to start somewhere. He starts with us and hopefully gets lots of goals. That's the plan. He's joined by our third goalkeeper signing, Harvey Collins, who is our outright number one. I feel that it will be close between the three goalkeepers we've signed, but he's got the biggest potential for three as well. He's a player who has only played on loan at Tamworth, 56 games in the league for them. Decent ratings, but lots of goals conceded, but I guess Tamworth's defence wasn't the best. He's playing the National League North, getting 6.7s, more than good enough to be playing at this level. Came through at Ready. Meki Horton Paris is our new starting left back, I would suggest. And again, very, very good physically. We'll be using him as a wing back. Probably a wing back on an attack is probably how that's going to go for him. And he's good. He's quick. He can tackle. He can cross. Yes, his first touch in marking and dribbling, I think, are a bit suspect, but again, he's 22, plenty of room for the lad. He's cost us nothing on a free from Alfreton, having come through at Sheffield United, but played very well for Alfreton over the 44 games of their National League North season. So I would say, again, a good free signing. Lamar Gordon comes in as a very versatile attacking option, can play on the right-hand side across attacking the field and up top, 22 years old. And again, leading player for the level below, but has everything in all the right places where we might need to use him. It's kind of got him as an advanced playmaker. Up top, he's not quite as strong, but still perfectly serviceable if he's needed. And as a career history, came through at Fulham, had a free transfer to Sunderland, still yet to make a senior appearance at 22. But he will make senior appearances for us at this level. And he's got that versatility where I'll at the very least be keeping him on the bench. But I think he'll be starting. Now, our first loan signing, just filling out gaps in the squad, is Joshua Walker, who can kind of play in a bunch of positions. That's why we're signing him. He does have good potential, but he's been just signed to fill in a bunch of gaps. Joined us on loan from York, spent last season or season before last season on loan at Pickering Town, a couple of levels below this. But again, he's just here to see if he develops and to just have that little bit of extra depth to the squad, one of three that will be filling that role for us. The second who actually spent some time at Maine Road last season is Pabos Iasafidis, who gives us that extra depth on the left-hand side. Again, big potential on loan from Cambridge. I think we met him when he went to Maine Road. We didn't really play, but he was just good as a depth option for us with Cypriot, 19-year-old. And again, if he kicks on, he kicks on. If he doesn't, he's costing us nothing, so that's fine. And also from Cambridge, Darren Griffiths is a striker who has a lot of potential and might get a bit more game time than the other two. But yeah, another option on the left, up top, a youngster, and has had a couple of loans at Walton and Hersham, and last year at Lewis in the National League South. He played very, very well. So I'm quite happy with him as a signing. He should be able to step into our first team. We don't have any real weaknesses this year, which is nice to see. And that's kind of helped by our final signing, who is Ash McCarthy, who can play pretty much everywhere. I've never seen a player that can play that well in that many positions. 23 years old, signed on a free. This man's all pace, decent technicals, rubbish mentals. Signed on a free from Rochdale. Well, he's played a few times in the National League and previously for Eastleigh and Dartford at this sort of level as well. Very good all-rounder. And that sort of completes our ins for this season. Outwise, it's all loans pretty much in terms of players leaving us and anyone major go. Not really. No one major gone out on loan or proper transfer. On frees, we've lost Adam Abbas, but that's not a big loss. All the rest of those guys, but nowhere near the first team there. Or some of these were Dylan Crowe was a good backup for us. Keegan Hartley, another good backup in central midfield for us. Harry Spence was like our fourth choice winger. Sam Jackson was our third choice right back. Connor Brown was our second choice goalkeeper and never really kicked on. Trey George was fine in midfield, but nothing special. Clay Ewing and Luther Jackson spent more time at Maine Road than they did at FC United. Joel Catesby was our backup winger or first choice, but he had an interesting run of things with us. If we look at his history, he's gone to St. Neots, which is a hell of a drop for him and a hell of a travel for him. He's played 88 games for us. He was a very good player for us, but we've just outclassed him with some of the new signings. Say it was Sean Neve, really. Sean Neve was a great striker for us, but for a few years, well, for 1 year, really, in the National League North, scored a lot of goals, 23 and 44, and then fell down the pecking order and couldn't even get a game at Maine Road by the end of it, which is fair enough. He's currently still available but being bid on by Kidderminster, where he might well end up, if we're completely honest. And the last really big name, actually quite sad to see this guy go, is Jay Fitz-Martin. Frankly, we just outgrown him. He was the fellow we trained to become a striker when I accidentally lost all our strikers in that January transfer window. But again, he's done a few big years service, for 5 good seasons of service for us. He's been with us since the start of the save. And yeah, it's just, he was playing well, even at National League North level. He never played below a 6.9 at any level. Really did develop very well for us. But again, I couldn't see a future for him. You look down here at the squad comparison, he'd be 5th in the pecking order just on the wing. And it's not really good enough just by keeping around when there's so many good youngsters around as well to really reinforce it. I might try and get into Maine Road, but I don't know if he will. Before we go to Maine Road transfers, though, of course, we need to just check in on where we are predicted to finish in the National League with FC United. So we'll jump across there now. Board want us to fight bravely against relegation. We are predicted to finish 20th. I think we can outdo that. I think this team is good enough to be at least mid-table, if not pushing for playoffs. And we'll find out, I guess, towards the end of the season. But let's jump to the blue side and find out what's happening over there. 11 signings on the blue side, starting actually with a familiar face. Ollie Morgan is now a permanent signing for Maine Road. Spent last year here on loan to us from Blackpool. They released him, and it just made sense to pick him back up because he played so very well for us over the course of last season. So a really good one to get in the door to start off things. He's joined by 26-year-old Ben Brooks. All his signings are on frees. I've not spent any money with either club this window. I could have done it, I just chose not to. His pace of it is sustained, but otherwise, a very, very good fullback. Previously of Cirencester in the National League South and North, they've switched, but 6.75, 6.85 and 6.9s for Chelmsford before that as well. At this level tells me he's a very, very good signing for us just to have in our squad. Alongside him, a centre-half, Jacob Lara, a very quick, very tall centre-half. Does the basics for her. He isn't no-nonsense centre-back by trade. We're probably going to be using as the central defender or as a ball winner. His passing's not too terrible, so it's certainly a possibility. Joined us from Witton in the league below, where he did very, very well for a year, and level below that even did well. Previously, another player previously of Salford, where he's played in League 2, and I had a loan at Bradford Park Avenue, where he did very, very well before that. So, yeah, very solid player for us to have in our team, and will be a starting centre-half. He is probably our best centre-half. Harry Jarvis comes in to be our new number one goalkeeper, 18-year-old Welshman who looks very, very good already. It says he's a decent National League North player, and I think he's good enough for the level of action. The Maine Road team, which we'll see when they finally get into the same league, is better than the FC United team. He was previously at Manchester City, played once for them in the Premier League as well, and got a 7 rating and a clean sheet, which is pretty strong stuff from the young Welshman, especially even, 16, 17 at the time. Pretty special stuff. Pretty special stuff for this lad. And yeah, he's just his senior debut against Leipzig. I don't know why it was in the league, and Messi played. He played in the Continentals as well, so he must have had a big injury issue. But yeah, very, very good that we've signed a goalkeeper who has played for Manchester City with some strong potential and will be our number one. Quentin Girardet is another left back / left wing wide side. His scout report was better than he looks. But, benefit of the doubt, he's 18, time to develop. Well, sent out on loan, he's already wanted, which is very helpful. But he was previously playing for Waltham Abbey in the Sub-Isthmian Division 1 South Central, so 2 levels below this. Actually a product of Chippenham, but again, we'll see what he does. As I say, our scout rate him very highly, our coaches not so much. Might be something behind the scenes I need to look at, but otherwise, we're doing okay. Patrice Hackar is a Frenchman who, again, will be the future 18 years old left winger and a striker with some pace. He joins us on a free from Leeds, and we know Leeds' academy is very good. He has mostly been a bench player in their underage side until now. Again, wanted for loan, we'll probably let him do that. But yeah, he has the pace, it's just everything else really needs to develop, and hopefully he will do, because he can be good enough to play at this level. We'll just keep an eye on him. I think there's a lot of young players coming into Maine Road, because we've also signed Rafael Ionu, another player who our scout rated more highly than our coaches. So right back who can play centre mid on the right-hand side of midfield, should we decide to go that way. He's already being bid on for loan, and to see if he develops. But another freebie signed from Leamington. He's had a couple of loans out as well. But yeah, just one to have around in the background for the future, and actually sort of fill out the reserve spot, because I realised that we'd lost a lot of reserves, which is also a reason I've signed so many youngsters to develop. Freddie Stanley's a 23-year-old left back who will come in and will be our starting left back, because he has more potential than Ben Brooks, essentially is how that's going to work. But again, a very good left back, no problem with him at all. Previously, it started off at Stevenage, went to Aldershot, then Wigan. Hasn't had a chance to play any real league football by that one game at Aldershot, where he was in the National League, played in the Northern Premier for a season on loan at Guiseley at this level last year on loan for a 6.77 average over 23 games. More than enough to convince me to bring this boy in and just see if he can be one of those missing pieces that helps us to get promoted this year. Oscar Dorber is another centre-half to really kind of add some depth there. Lacking pace, but we'll work on that as well. Can also play at right back. Gives us more options. And yeah, 22, lots of room to develop. Maybe a bit late in his development side, but another Leeds youngster. I think we've got 3 ex-Leeds youngsters in our team now. Though he's had, time at Cheadle Heath, at Walsall Wood, where he's been playing a couple of divisions below this, done okay. Found his way to Chesterfield, where he didn't play, but played a lot of reserve football for them. And then has got a loan to Gloucester last season in this league, a 6.46. Not the best, but again, he's really, really signed as a backup. He's our 4th best centre-half, alongside actually Alfie Cresswell, who has come also from the Leeds Academy. But yeah, he's depth in the squad, but sorely needed depth and will really help us out. Amari Miller's a player I've had on the show before, another absolute ex-Needs player, funnily enough. Plays both wings or up top, does everything fairly well. He's a very across-the-board, decent player who should score a lot of goals for us when he plays. A second-choice striker officially, but it's going to be between him, Theo Carroll, Luke Norris, and Charlie Ragg starting in those top two positions. Last season was at Stamford in the Southern League Premier, so the level below this, a 7.1, but only 3 games for him. The season before that, played at this level, 11 in 49 with a 7.06 for Chester, and then for that, 6.97 Bob and 38. You can see how this is a player who had some big ideas behind him. Leeds paid 200k for him as a kid, and I remember that being a fairly decent deal at the time. I remember that being spoken very highly because he played 5 league games for Birmingham. Never really kicked on. We've got a chance to revitalise it, but yeah, he could be a late developer. I've got a feeling he will be a late developer for us. And yeah, we just need to get him some game time because he's gone like a client through not playing enough football at the right level. Hopefully, this is where he gets that football. And the last man is another centre half with a very cheeky snarl, 24-year-old Joe Tyree. I think this player is really good. I think he's a good National League North player, but with 50 a good National League player. That's what kind of we want to see. He played last season at this level for Peterborough Sports, 46 appearances for a 6.72. Before that was with Tunbridge at this level and dropped down a level where he played respectably in a team that was fighting at the bottom of the league. And yeah, has just had a reasonable number of loans, reasonable number of appearances, 250 league game, and he will be making his 250th league game for us. 9 goals, 8 assists, 6.7 overall average. That's pretty good. It's pretty strong. We're quite happy with that for Joe Tyree. In terms of the players who have left us, we'll have a look, see if anyone is major there. Freddie Hockey played a lot of games for us. He's gone to Darlington in this division, but again, I said I played less games than I thought, but he was a backup for us last year. Could have played this year, but again, I've signed better options, so letting him go was the humane thing to do. Let's see if we lost him at the end of last season. We lost Jay Shoescrow, which was a shame just because his name was incredible, but again, not really a struggle for us. And in terms of the players released, anyone could stick. Dion Conroy didn't want a new contract. Jack Powell wasn't really good enough for this level. Ben Margetson wanted too much money, so I let him go. Would have been nice to keep him because he had that Man City connection. Marcel McIntosh was kind of a big deal for us, but again, I've signed better players. He played a lot of football for us last season. Nat Wallace has been with us for a long time. Kieran Burton, Josh Stewart was a really big deal, which was our captain actually, be right back. Played 90 games for us. Kieran Burton, he played 58 for us. I think Nat Wallace probably played a fair few. 23 for us. Audie Lamansa, who was one of our main strikers over the years, has gone. Justin Awobi, who was signed as a backup striker and never really forced his way into the first team, has gone. Ifeoni, who was our backup fullback last year, 32 appearances, gone. It kind of tells you how much I've upgraded this team. Glenn Tierney has been a strong player for us, 64 appearances, 16 goals. He got released at the end of his contract. Same with Josh King-Phillips, who was our backup left back. I think was also at FC United for a while. He was the guy here on loan, and then we signed, and he never really did anything for us. The big loss for us, another player who, again, wouldn't sign a new contract because we thought he was too good for the team he was in. If he stuck around a few months, would still be our starting number one, is Daniel Cameron. He's currently wanted by Bootle, so he's actually going up back in the Northern Premier League, because I'm pretty sure Bootle didn't come up with us. They did come up with us. Okay, so he's going to be playing against us this year, unless he ends up being a backup at Wigan, which is very conceivable. Let's go back to his profile. We can see, though, he has developed into a fairly decent goalkeeper. As I said, he would have played for us this season, would have been our number one for a couple of seasons, but he didn't want to stay. So that, I'm afraid, is life. But let's jump across to our prediction for this season. And we are predicted to finish in 40, the solid mid-table finish. I think we, again, can make the playoffs and really have a good season this year. I genuinely think we have a really good season with this team. I think this squad is better. As I said, I think man for man, it is a very small squad. Admittedly, this is with reserves and youth team players and things admitted. It does, you add them in, it grows a little bit bigger. but we got a lot of youngsters there who aren't really going to do a lot, if I'm honest. It's a smallish squad with some backups hiding in the youth team and reserves to help them out. One or two areas I might like to get another player in, but unfortunately, the budget just isn't quite there. 23,000 a year. I have got a couple of players I'm looking at bringing in. Josh Stewart being one of them. I think I did that just to get in some fitness. I don't think he'll actually play for us this year. But we're looking at bringing in a few players, which we'll get to when the time comes. But yeah, it's just all adding depth to the squad. But that's the team we're going into the season with. I think it's a very, very strong team. We will play our first games of the season in the next episode because we're not going to do them now because this episode is already going to be hella long. So, thanks for watching there, guys. I have as always been chasing that. If you like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And join me again in the next episode where we will be playing our first game of the season with our newly promoted clubs. But hopefully, you'll get some wins. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Until next time, stay safe and have a good one.